Hello guys, MonkeyBot here, and today we're going to be talking about the potential update that they're going to be giving to the Shadows of Change DLC. I'll be going through all three of the Legendary Lords. They'll have each their separate video, and I'll be talking about what mechanics they can get, what mechanics they should improve on, what changes there should be, how to improve this DLC as a whole. I'm not going to go through specific units. I feel like that's going to be a given. They're going to just give some random units to all three of these factions. But I'm going to be talking about specifically the campaign mechanics and how the factions play as a whole. So we're going to be starting with the Changeling. So the Changeling, I think, is the better out of the three. I still think there is a lot more work to do with him. I don't think he's very replayable. I think his campaign mechanics, as in the story behind it, is very good. It's very well laid out. But if you just want a sandbox experience, it's really not the best campaign for you. So here are some mechanics that I think can improve that replayability to make you want to play it multiple times. So without further ado, let's get straight into the Changeling. So as I said previously, the Changeling already has some pretty decent mechanics. I already love its cult mechanic. I think they should stick with that. I don't think he should be an empire builder. Having said that, I do feel like he needs to manipulate his cults a lot more. I think you could very simply add a building, maybe in the section here, or add an ability to this, giving any faction with these cults a discount on the changing of the ways. So you could have, let's say, we grab one of these buildings, and if I get this to tier 3, all of the changing of the ways performed on this specific faction will be discounted at 50%, let's say. I'm not going to go too much details into numbers, but I think that would make a nice simple change. You could then use this to convince factions to go to war with each other, create civil wars, and has he been moved? Okay, Kazrak has been moved. I didn't know that. Anyway, moving on. So I think just a quick simple change. Take this to level 3 or any of the other buildings, and it reduces the cost of the changing of ways for that specific faction, creating more chaos and more mayhem. So moving on, we're going to be talking about his formless horror mechanic, and I think this is a very, very good start to the mechanic, but I think a lot more could be done with it. And I don't think they should change the battle aspect of it. I think the battle aspect is perfect, so you can turn into any character once you have defeated that character in battle or completed a certain mission. I think the battle side of it should stay the exact same as it is, but I think it should have some campaign mechanics attached to this also. So let's say I change myself to Karl Franz here. Obviously I haven't unlocked him, but let's use our imaginations. So I have now changed to Karl Franz, and now I am going to attack this settlement here as Karl Franz. This will then add a negative penalty to between Karl Franz and the Empire faction here, and they will start gaining negative relations with each other, making them hate each other and making them maybe break agreements and forcing a war between them. And I think a simple change like that could really make this campaign a lot more dynamic. Okay, I want, let's say, Gelt and Franz to go to war. I am going to take the form of Gelt right here, and I am going to start attacking Franz. This will make them hate each other. This will make sure I don't have to spend changing of the ways to force a war between them. There are other options to do this right now, and they will start hating each other. I could do this with anyone. I could do this with Gelt and the Dwarfs, for example. Or I can even get Chaos factions up here to fight. Or Kislev. Maybe I could start a civil war going on in Kislev. And I think something like this could really start to create mayhem. And it will give a little sort of side objective, like you can start manipulating the campaign even more beyond the changing of the ways, beyond just buffing up certain factions or debuffing certain factions. I can actually now manipulate the relationships between the two factions just by doing something simple like that. And you could do this with all of the lords, so it doesn't really matter. I could go to Vlad, for example, and I could maybe start attacking. If I really want Vlad and the dwarves to go to war, I can try and push that a little bit further. Or I can try and get allies to go to war. Maybe I could go all the way over to Miao Ying and start attacking Zhao Ming and force a war between them. Maybe even the Wood Elves, like, you don't know. I could start creating these civil wars within these regions just by adding that little bit of a diplomacy penalty every time I attack a faction as a certain legendary lord. It's slightly complicated to get your head around, but I think once you actually... But that's what Tzeentch is. Tzeentch is complicated. You have no idea what he's going to do. But I think there should be some sort of campaign mechanic added to this. And the last thing I want to talk about the Changeling is actually just give him the rest of the core Tzeentch mechanics. For example, he doesn't have access to unholy manifestations. I think all of these unholy manifestations would be excellent for the Changeling. Gaining more grimoires, amazing. Enables attrition, amazing. Gains barrier, ammunition, and range, amazing. And then suddenly gains loads of winter magic per turn and causes Tzeentch corruption and control for the enemy. I think all four of these unholy manifestations, I think the Tzeentch ones are actually one of the better ones. And the Changeling does not have access to them. I don't understand that. I'm pretty sure before the release of Warhammer 3, when they were introducing all of the factions, there was a blog about the difference between the demon factions and the mortal factions. And I'm pretty sure it said that unholy manifestations will be accessed by all of the demon factions. So why does the Changeling not have that? That seems very bizarre to me. Nothing really to change about these. I think they're exactly how they should be for the Changeling. Don't change any of the stats or anything like that, or what they do. I think that's perfect for the Changeling. And the other thing would be the winter magic manipulation. Again, the Changeling doesn't have access to this, and I think it would be a very good mechanic to have for the Changeling. For example, if I really want a faction to fall and crumble, all I'll do is just lower their winter magic, and then they won't be as powerful. They will more likely be losing their fight, and then that faction will then fall and crumble. I think that would be perfect for the Changeling again, and for some reason he just doesn't have access to it. But yeah, just that's it for this section. Just give him the rest of the mechanics like that he should already have. It's just very basic to me, and I don't understand why that's not been done yet. And that's it for the Changeling. As I said previously, I don't think he needs a lot of changes. I just think he needs something to make it more interesting to play his campaign more than just once. Obviously, on top of this, I am expecting a few new units to be added, maybe another Lord type or another hero type, but I'm not going to speculate too much on that because that's just throw in the dark. I have no idea what that could be. But please let me know what you think about these changes. If you like them, what else would you like to see? Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. And for more Warhammer content like this, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.